Unmuted.
Okay, the E-mini is selling into the close, so Thursday's rally was nothing but a short squeeze, and I mean we identified that early, and you can tell that there just is no retracement. So right now, looks like a close is going to be in the 2102.50 area. Again, nice rotate up. Stops at yesterday's mean green line. Reverse RTF, we've got a ton of volume in this bar. No volume in those next three bars, and when you break that bar's low, look what happens. You'd say, based on what's gone on today, oh, the bottom fell out of the market, but we got a lot more activity on this move than we have. So 2100 looks like the target. Maybe stops below 2100, then maybe a close in the 2102 area. 50 lot trader is adding to his shorts right now. So we came in this morning wanting to sell failure to take out this 18 to 20 area. That trade came very early. Nothing but S's, no news to speak of. Dealt with a great big B. Very, very slow trading. It took 3 hours for the market to break. Finally, we get a mom. Market comes down, can't really break, head and shoulders low. Great long trade right here, didn't go anywhere. Then the reverse RTF, and then selling late into the session. So we'll be dealing with nothing but B's on today's charts. Looking at the F1 screen, inside day, that typically means trading range. We got a trading target at 2094 if we can get through 2100. And then probably pretty good support back in the 80-82 area. So we got a 2120 seller, 2180 minus buyer. That's a 40-point trading range, and that's typically what we kind of deal with when things get quiet. And it usually takes a day or two to cover that. So we'll plan next week on a selling 2120s and buying 2080s. Okay, here is a series of B's. There's a great big B right there. And so the market is pointed lower, retesting this breakout at 98.99. Stops below 2100 looks doable. If we don't get below 2100, again, the exchange members aren't doing their job. They're not going for stops. As the CME says, it's just price discovery. It's not a hunt for the retail account money. Baloney. So here we are. So 5 to 7 was support. 5 to 7 is now resistance. Then 10 to 12 was our first support band. So we're really going to probably want to sell the 2105, 2110 area. So we'll make sell 1, assuming a close here at 02. 5 to 7, sell 2. 10 to 12. On the buy side, we have this low over here, so we're going to make 95, 97, buy 1. Let them get stops below 2100. We're going to put a question mark at 2100 because that is a round number, and obviously it's got to come out before we get to 95, 97, then our 90, 92. I think getting short in anticipation of a 2080, 2082 by Tuesday is probably the trade. They meet again on Monday, Greece and the EU ministers, and I don't know what they'll come up with, but they're going to come up with something that will keep the talks going, kicking the can down the road. The IMF has said no more deals with the IMF. They're washing their hands of it, at least for now. And Greece has to make some big concessions or default to get their help in the future. And because the International Monetary Fund is not dependent upon internal funds and internal capital, it's run by the contributions from G7 nations, primarily the United States. It's not their money. They don't have to worry about it. No explanation required. Okay, higher low, higher high. This market is trying to trade up. Next week is the 2, 5, and 7-year auction. The 2-year auction is on Tuesday, so my guess is the financials are going to hold these gains. This screen says find a place to buy it. Definitely a strong P, definitely a close. Got this low volume area up here in the 24 area. So selling failure to take out 2025. I think it's probably the easiest trade to see. And then 27s to 31s. On the buy side, last rotate down stopped at 15.5. We're at 19.5. So like to do it a little bit cheaper. So maybe 12s to 16s. Let them come down into this area right there, buy one. And 13 would be the number where I'd like to get long. And then 5 to 9. Okay, looking at the 30-year. One of the nice things about being in the trading game is that I remember I used to just agonize with my clients as a broker as to whether I should take profits or not. I would kick off a tax event, and lots of really tough decisions made in stock portfolios. And there's been several studies that go back, I think, to the 50s. And if you miss like 30 or 40 days when the market traded the upside, it really significantly cut your portfolio's performance. So being able to let your stocks run, you know, never knowing when it's going to explode to the upside, being able to trade, being able to hedge against it, just gives us an immense amount of freedom that most people don't have. So I think, you know, at some point you gotta just sit back and really be grateful for being able to acquire these skills. I mean, it makes a huge difference in your look towards life. It really dampens down the fear associated with owning securities. I mean, there's just a lot of good that can come from this. Okay, we're at the buck. I'm going to try 17s to 21s. Try to get in around this high volume number right here. Maybe it'll pull the market back to it. May have to pay up depending on what goes if the E-mini crashes. We're I'd be lucky to get in at 29. And then this area right here is at 12. So we'll make break that area at 12, maybe a 5 to 9. Let them come back down. Try to pick up this area right here as a buyer. But this contract, but normally you would expect it to move a point during the day. I mean, 1.5 points, 2, sometimes 3 points is where it is. So it's really very volatile, and it's pretty. You just get on board and get a pretty good ride out of it. I'm not saying it's easy to trade, but we've got the volatility and the range that if you keep your losses small, you can really do well with this. Gold is quietly higher. I don't know really what would make it break with this Greek tragedy hanging over its head, the market's head. So, I mean, we have an inside day. Resistance is at 12.05 to maybe as high as 12.15. And we'd have really good support below 75. So Definitely we'll be working with a B. Well, actually we're not. I'm dealing with a P put in backwards. And it's in an up market, so we have to assume that there's probably some buying here. So perhaps a little lower, pointed lower, so 95, 97. May come in London. Then 90, 92. So 95, 95 is our buy zone. 1205, 1210 is our sell zone. Four to 6, give it a little room. And 10 to 12. I think on fundamentals, crude remains a sell, but it sure as hell hasn't broken very quickly, right? Inside day to lower. Start off, took forever to get below 59.50. Very, very slow. So lower high, lower low. This favors finding a place to sell it. And selling against 60 would be the logical place. So. And 60, 60 and a quarter, sell 1. 50 to 75, sell 2. On the buy side, 25 to 50. And then 58.75, 59. And finally to the euro. Euro rallies, usually, not 100% of the time either, on the hopes of a deal between Greece and the EU. Nobody in the EU wants Greece to be out of the European Union like yesterday. Most of them wouldn't mind seeing Greece out of the EU over a 5 to 10 year deal. And I think if I were Greece, keep things going right now. Let's just let us work off our debt over 5 to 10 years. Let Europe write off their debt over 5 to 10 years. Just keep it orderly, and Greece can go back and do what they're doing. But this is since 400 or 500 BC. Lower high, lower low on this screen makes us a seller. And probably 1250 is where the market is. As long as we stay above 1250 and can trade higher, certainly at 114 even, there's a seller. And looking at the F2 screen, got a P, and it was put in the right way. It means buying or at least short covering at the end of the week. So 1375, sell 1. 1400, sell 2. On the buy side, make it 25, and I'll put a question mark by 50, just because it's a round number, but buy 1, 25. Buy 2, the buck. Folks, that's it for June the 19th, 2015. I will see you bright and early Monday morning. It's going to be a hot one here in Wichita. Hopefully you all will have enjoyable summer weather that'll get you out of doors too. Been a good week. See you bright and early Monday morning. I'm out of here.